persecution, war, and intrigue. Ken Timmerman with us today. And he is Dean of the Institute of World Politics, former Pentagon official, and former Special Assistant to Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. James Robbins. Gentlemen, welcome into you both. So, fragile ceasefire, now it's over. It looks like the fighting and first strikes are here, maybe to stay. I'll start with you first, James. President Trump lost his patience. Iran's not a trustworthy player, as we all knew. But where does this go? As some say, this is entering now a new, potentially extended, prolonged time of strikes.
The Iranians started it by opening fire on civilian shipping going through the Strait during the ceasefire. The U.S. has responded in each case. Iran kept escalating the number of ships they would hit. We escalated our response. And that's why the president said, well, maybe the ceasefire is over. That doesn't mean we immediately return to full-scale military action. It could just mean that we go to the state of maybe, war or no war, resume the blockade, that kind of thing. Or maybe it does escalate. Maybe we take out the facilities at Kharg Island or do some more significant strikes on their leadership, for example. The president has a number of options, but it definitely does not help for Congress to get involved in this and talk about limiting things the United States can do when it's Iran that's the aggressor.
Yeah, well said, and I think it also puts Iran right where they know they have the bit of leverage, which is politically. Ken, with your book, your knowledge as well of the type of mentality with the regime here and the mullahs, President Trump did float sort of taking Kharg Island, and then you have Iran saying they're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. In one post on X saying the strait will only open with Iranian arrangements, not American threats. Here we go again. What do you make of James's assessment on all the options President Trump has? Which one perhaps will be the best one?
Well, I think the president clearly has all the cards. Right now, we're still in a negotiation phase. I would say this, we are not yet in what I call Act 4 of the war, which would be a resumption of the full-scale kinetic activities. This is a kind of tit-for-tat. We're negotiating with bombs on both sides. Look, what's happened here is that Arakchi and Kalibov, the Iranian negotiators, they have not been able to sell the deal to the IRGC. They could sell the carrots. They told them all of the benefits they were going to get, but they couldn't sell the sticks. In other words, they could not sell the IRGC what they had to deliver in order to get those carrots. And the first deliverable clearly was to open the Strait of Hormuz. They violated that. We have counterattacked them. We're going to keep on attacking them. The IRGC has let it be known very clearly today that they're going to continue to attack us. So I think we're in a kind of extended phase of tit-for-tat retaliation, but not yet Act 4, the big resumption of the big war.
All right, so the big resumption of the big war. We'll see where it goes. I do want to get your reaction, though, to those lawmakers, as we just had Kilmeny on the Hill. Senator Tim Kaine is arguing Congress needs to approve any new strikes after the House passed a war powers resolution. President Trump reacted to this. Let's play a little bit of what he told reporters traveling back from Ankara.
I don't know. We'd win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago, they want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making the deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem.
All right, how's the messaging going from your perspective, James, on this?
Well, Congress in doing this is only strengthening Iran's hand. They're strengthening the sides in Iran that say keep pushing the United States because President Trump is weak, he faces this internal opposition and so forth. It's really unhelpful for Congress to be doing this. But if they want to press the point on the war powers resolution, it's really of dubious constitutionality and it's never been tested in the Supreme Court. I think they should go ahead and take the president to court over this. If they think that he's violating the strictures of the War Powers Act, let's have it out in the Supreme Court and see, because the executive veto that's inherent in the War Powers Resolution has already been declared unconstitutional in other case law, and I think the court could throw this one out too.
Hey, if they want to fight President Trump, certainly we'll give it to them. We know that when it comes to lawfare. Better leave it there. Great to see you both. Ken Timmerman and James Robbins, please come back soon.